Welcome back to Waiting Makes You Whole. Thank you all for your support and for watching and for viewing and for your comments. This is my 8th video. Woo! I'm excited. And the name of this video is called Taking Over Your Finances. And during this video, I'm going to give you 7 steps on what I've applied, how I've been able to overcome and take over my finances during my rough patches. So the number 1 step for anybody, whether you're single, which I'm single, I'm a single mom, married, divorced, whatever stage of life you are in, is to own where you are financially. One step that I can give you within that, a tip that I can give you within owning where you are financially is printing out your bank receipts and just doing an overview. Maybe 3 months behind. I did 90 days and I just looked at my spending habits and I was just like, man, this was November of last year. I was not doing good financially. I was allowing my finances to take over me. So I had to own up to it and say, okay, well, during my wholeness process, which I'm working on, this is another thing that I said, I'm gonna tackle, I'm gonna take over it, I'm gonna own it. Step number 2, lower your expenses. So remember, you just printed out everything, you saw the problem. Mine was food. I would buy a lot of groceries and then I would still go out to eat knowing I got a fridge full of food. So a way for me to lower my expenses was stop eating out. Use the food, cook. The 3rd tip is save. Have an emergency fund. So for me, remember, I started this November of last year. I knew income tax was coming. So I decided to wait till income tax before I started doing my whole financial breakthrough thing. And when my income tax came, I put $1,000 in my emergency fund. So save. So the 4th tip is to set your budget and stick to your budget. I use the EveryDollar app and I set my budget on that. I manually type everything in. If I spend something out of place, I write it down in my app. I have my phone with me all the time. It's a great way to keep track of it. Another thing I do to stick to my budget is I use the envelope system, which means I take out my gas money, I take out my tithes, and I take out my food money. Everything else comes out automatically. But I do that because guess what? I leave my debit card home. I do not use my debit card because I'm using cash. It's crazy how much you limit your spending when you see how much you actually have in hand. Number 5, set a goal and work towards getting rid of all of your debt. So one tip I did, and I know everybody's life is different, was that I decided to just condense all my debt into one card. I looked into my credit score and I saw that there's 35% of your credit is actually the amount owed, meaning that if you max your card, then that's 35% of your credit score. But if you bring it down to like half or less than half, your credit just shoots up. So I decided to increase my credit. I condensed everything into one card, but I did it with my bank. They gave me a 0 APR, meaning I'm not paying any interest, which is awesome. Try to look into your bank, see if they would offer that. And then because I had so many open accounts with them, I gave myself a higher credit limit. So if it was $5,000 because I had a few other open accounts, I put it up to $10,000, but I didn't owe that much, so it really made my credit jump high. Plus, everything was condensed into one bill that I'm paying off. And I'm so excited, I can't wait to pay the last bill. So limit your debt and use the snowball effect. So once I'm done paying off my credit card, the amount that I'm using towards my credit card to pay it off, I'm gonna go ahead and put that amount on my car payment and completely pay off my car. Number 6, what I learned how to do as well was to invest. What helped me learn how to invest was this book. It's called Financial Peace. No, he's not sponsoring this video. It would be nice, but no, he's not. I ended up meeting with my financial advisor from work who helped me look into my 401k, and I wanted to get aggressive at a young age and match everything and see what was the max I can invest in. They give you different things like Google, Apple, things like that. So I decided to invest and be aggressive in investing while I'm young, so when I get older, I can retire with some funds in my pocket. Last but not least, number 7 is give. This one, I apply it. I've been applying it since I was a teenager in the group home. And giving, to me, is the most important of all of these. Malachi 3:10, of course, it's not going to be verbatim. Look it up. But God says, trust me in this. I give my tithes even when I am struggling. And I'm going to share a personal testimony on giving. One thing is, I never want to make money more important than my financial struggle, or make it my God, or make it more important than anything else, because money isn't, but God is. I am a woman of faith, and I believe that, for example, when I was going through my divorce, my finances were shot shot to death, like they were dead. My bills were twice as much than what I made, right? But I knew that I had the source to all things. And I knew that I was going to get through it. And so it gave me the peace that I needed, even though I didn't know how it was going to happen. But I had peace. No, I wouldn't say it was easy. I cried. There were times that I would pray and I didn't know what to say because it was so hard. But I never stopped tithing, because I believe God at His word. If He says, trust me in this, bring your tithes to the storehouse, and I will give you abundantly, like He will overwhelm you with blessings. So that's one thing I did. I remember I was broke, down and out, and getting on my knees. I couldn't even pray. I just cried. I cried. I gave my tithes, and I sometimes don't like saying this because people judge you. I didn't even have enough money for groceries, but I gave my tithes. And I get emotional. I'm not gonna cry. I get emotional. But I trusted God. Could I have reached out to my sister, to a coworker, to a trusted friend? Yeah, I could have. But I wanted to try God at His word. And I remember getting on my knees and praying and saying, God, I don't have food for the next 2 days. And I gave my tithes. And I trust you. And I just cried. I got up off of my knees, had to get dressed to go to work, took the kids to their babysitter. My daughter was at her babysitter, my son was in school. Unneeded information, TMI. Anyway, I remember when I got to work that day, there was a basket of food on top of my desk. Of food, like 2 days worth of food until I got paid again, was on top of my desk. And I cried. My coworker was like, why are you crying? It's just a basket of food. I said, it had lunch, breakfast, and dinner in that big basket of food for 2 days. She didn't know what I was going through because I didn't share it with her. And then I told her I didn't have food for the next 2 days. And then, she got upset. She was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, no, because I wanted to trust God. I didn't want to depend on money. I didn't want to depend on finances. I gave my tithes and I told God, I trust you and I believe you're going to make a way. That's just a small testimony of the amount of things that God can do. So no matter what you go through, don't make that an obstacle to learn how to give and truly, truly trust God, no matter what you go through. I really hope that these 7 steps helped you. Again, if you want me to go into detail, please reach out, comment, and I will go further into detail with you. And see you soon.